Alright guys, well today's project is definitely a little bit on the unnecessary side, being that I haven't needed one of these for the past 12 years that I've kept chickens, but I do think it will be something that will add quite a bit of convenience for my wife and daughter when they fill up the chicken feeder, and it was just something I thought would be cool in a project I wanted to try as a new way of storing the chicken food and making dispensing a little bit easier. So if you stick around, I'll show you how I built it, and if you stick to the end, I will talk about a giveaway that I'm doing with runchicken.com for 4 of their automated chicken doors. I think 2 of the chicken coop videos ago, I installed them on the coop run and my chicken coop. They open and close with sunrise and sunset, or you can also program a time, and they're just awesome doors. So stick around, I'll show you how I built it, and then I will tell you about how you can potentially win one of these as maybe an early Christmas present for yourself. Alright, well, as one might imagine, the first step in this project was to build the elevated stand for where the blue 55-gallon barrel and chicken feed will eventually sit. And because the combination of those two have a potential to be very heavy, I'm using 8-foot long 4x4 posts, and I am notching them out so as to achieve somewhat of a timber frame style of joinery. Number one, just because it adds a little bit of strength, and number two, once I get everything chiseled out and smooth, it'll just kind of look cool, and that's always good in a project like this. Now, after cleaning the notched out areas up with the chisel, it was now time to cut the horizontal members that would secure the structure together, as well as hold the barrel up on the elevated position. And for this, wasn't really complex. I just needed to cut them at a length that was big enough to allow the barrel to sit within the structure, but small enough to keep it from sliding out from any one of the sides. And you can also see that on these pieces I had to cut a 45 angle cut on the interior section of them, and that is just to allow for the overlap when these pieces end up joining together. And here in a couple of seconds you'll be able to see where that makes a little bit more sense. And one thing I wanted to make note of is that the only pieces that are notched out are the lower horizontal pieces that will be holding the weight of the barrel, and not the upper pieces. Those are just simple butt joints. And the reason for that is I simply just didn't want to go through the extra effort of having to make all of those cuts for those, and they really didn't need to be as strong as those lower pieces. Okay, well, half the battle is done. It fits. The next thing I'm going to do is add a couple of supports down right below the barrel, because right now it'll just be sitting on the edges of the barrel, but I'll leave enough space to account for the little chute mechanism that I'm going to add on the barrel. And then I will sand this, treat it, and let me show you what I added overnight as the support framework for the barrel. Probably a little bit overbuilt, but hey, I'm okay with that. I used some of these scrap pieces of 4x4 in the corners just to give the frame a little bit more rigidity, and then I just added some scrap pieces of 2x3, and you can see I left the middle portion open, and that is because I'm going to be adding an RV clean out valve, this is ABS, and a toilet flange to the bottom of the barrel, and this will act as the chute mechanism to allow the feed to be dispensed out to my feeder. And you can see right there I also have what will eventually be the roof of this structure, so I can keep rain off of the barrel. And I think now I'm going to treat the bottoms of the legs and then set this in concrete, and then I'll do all the sanding and other finish work. And if you're wondering why I added the screws, that is because I used this 4-inch PVC pipe over the outside of this ABS flange, and the fit was just slightly loose. So just in case the glue comes undone later on, the screws will be holding it in place. And it's not like that's holding water or anything, so it doesn't really have to be watertight. And the next thing I'm going to do is put some sort of lip around here, so any water that's coming down the barrel will hit that lip and drain off before it goes into these areas that I will also seal up later. And here's what I came up with for the drip edge. This is just the lid of a 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot that I cut the center out of, affixed it to the barrel, and then just added some caulking around the edges. And you'll also notice there are some holes drilled in the edge of the barrel. Well, that is because I'm eventually going to build a funnel or a cone shape on the inside of the barrel. So this area will be a void space. So just in case I ever get any condensation inside the barrel, it can go down here to the low edges of the outside of the barrel and drip out. Okay, well, so far the project's been pretty simple, but I've officially reached the point where it is making me think a little bit, and that is in the construction of the funnel or cone shape at the bottom of the barrel so that the feed will funnel into the PVC fittings that I added to the bottom. And you can see what I've done is just add a bunch of pieces of scrap wood all cut to the same lengths, and I have foamed them in place using some of that great stuff foam. And once that foam sets up, my plan is to get some sheet metal, and I will cut some triangles and affix them to the pieces of wood, and then I will seal everything else. I kind of seal all of those seams with some RV sealant tape that I have on hand. Well, it's not going to be sheet metal. I looked through my garage and I found that I had an old sheet of this aluminum foil insulation, and it's pretty rigid and light, and it works well with that great stuff foam. So that's what I'm going to use to infill all of these little triangular sections, and then after that I'll put the RV tape over the seams. Looks like a bomb went off in here, but here is the funnel. I think it turned out pretty well. Once all this foam cures, I will add that RV sealant tape, which should make all of this waterproof, and then I'll do a little caulking down right at the bottom near the PVC fittings. And here's what it looks like all sealed up. I didn't have enough of that RV sealant tape, so what you see there, the black portion, is just an outdoor grade duct tape. I don't know how that's going to hold up, but I guess only time will tell, but it feels pretty secure. So now I'm going to go put it up on the stand, fill it with some food, and show it in action. Fills up. Perfect. Set it back where you got it. Alright, well, what's the verdict? Did it work pretty well?
I think it works really well.
Yeah? A lot better than
I
using
think
the bag?
Chickens like it a lot more because earlier I'm just having to go with a big heavy bag, and I wasn't able to ever do it by myself.
Yeah, well, Dad's got to do the bags, but you get to use this little chute thing.
Yay!
Well, that is pretty much going to do it for this video. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and perhaps it gave you some ideas for some similar project that you want to try of your own, whether it's some animal food dispenser and storage system like this, or whatever. I hope anything in my videos inspires you to build, create, learn a new skill, all of those kind of things. Now for the giveaway, it's very simple. All you have to do is comment down below, like this video, obviously subscribe to my channel, which you probably already are if you're watching this, and also subscribe to runchicken.com's YouTube channel and any of their other social media like Instagram, things like that. And then I think I'll put the details down below, but I think in like 4 or 5 days I will do a random number generator, and then I will select 4 of you, and I'll pin a comment at the top showing who's the winners, and I'll obviously respond to your comment and let you know you won, and then runchicken.com will send you out their doors. And if you are unfamiliar with the doors, go back 2 videos in this series. I think the video is titled Automatic Chicken Door. You can see a demonstration of them. I talk about them quite a bit more, and I'm really happy with them. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like this, and I will see you next time. Oh, by the way, one other thing, if you haven't turned it off, if anybody can guess what this is going to be for, I'm going to have a video building this, what it is, which you probably can figure that out, and what I'm going to be building. If you can guess exactly what I'm going to be building with this, it's going to be a Christmas present for my wife. I will send you no less than $5.53 PayPal, okay? That is for the first person who answers that correctly, and I think I've only told like 5 people what I'm going to be building, so there's really only 5 people that could win it, unless somebody else just gets really lucky. And the random number is just because $5 is money I'm willing to lose on something like this, and I like odd numbers, so I just came up with a random number. Alright, see ya.